Good morning, Unity of Music City.
Good morning.
Shall we begin our service? Welcome to the sanctuary. If you were here yesterday for our Revive and Reset, you know the true meaning of sanctuary, and you are sitting in the midst of it. We had a wonderful event yesterday where we all found sanctuary in this room, and we're going to continue that experience today. So on behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill. This is the Sanctuary Band. That's Jackie, Jackson, Mary Grace. Let's stand up. We're going to sing 2 songs back to back. We're going to get our minds set. We're going to get our energy up. We're going to get ready to have a great service today. So let's start our service by saying, thank you for this day. I want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. So grateful. I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing day.
This healing day.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
My wonderful friends.
My wonderful friends.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
I want to say thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. Oh, thank you for. Let's do God is my source. Here we go. God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. Love is my source.
Love is my source.
Love is my power.
Love is my power.
Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source.
Peace is my source.
Peace is my power.
Peace is my power.
Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for my blessings.
Peace gives me everything I need. Joy is my source.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source. God gives me everything I need. God gives me me everything I need. My God is so good to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got up this morning singing.
God is so good.
I got up this morning singing.
God is so good.
I got up this morning singing. God is so good. My God is so good to me. I'm feeling good down in my soul. Yeah, God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. Yeah, God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. Yeah, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day, in every way.
God is so good.
Every day, in every way.
God is so good.
Every day, in every way. God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of trial, I know.
God is so good.
In my time of trial, I know.
God is so good.
When my time of trial, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me. And when my day is over, I know.
God is so good.
When my day is over, I know.
God is so good.
When my day is over, I know.
God is so good.
My God is so good to me. Every day, in every way.
God is so good.
Every day, in every way.
God is so good.
Every day, in every way. God is so good. My God is so. My God is so. My God is so good to me. My God is so good to me. Oh, love that energy. Please be seated. Have we had church? We just leave right now, right? All right. Well, let's stay and hear what Reverend Deb has to say, right? All right. Any kids? You are dismissed. And I want to take just a moment to say welcome, welcome, welcome to Unity of Music City, the home for authentic transformation. We come here to remember the truth of who we really are, and that is that we are a child of the divine. You can call it whatever you want to: God, Buddha, Kali, Krishna, universe, spirit. We call it everything, right? So whatever you call it is what we call it, because you are on your spiritual path, and what we are here to do in this community is love and support you on your spiritual path. The most important thing that we can do in our lives is have a spiritual path, is be focused on our spiritual path. But what that spiritual path is up to you. And so you decide what your spiritual path is, and when you come here, you are loved and supported on your spiritual path. So we welcome you today. If you're new, we have a way to contribute if you so desire. Our donations for paper donations can go in that blue vase there, back beside the door on the table. If you want to use PayPal, you can use the QR code there to donate your tithes, offerings. We say that we want everybody in this community to bring their time, their talents, and your treasures. So you're donating your time today by coming to the services. You're coming to the events that we have. We had a beautiful event yesterday. We've got events coming up. We have classes that help you on your spiritual path. You can donate your time and your talents to us. So we are a volunteer-led community. So we appreciate you being here today. And as proof of all of that, we have some announcements. I think I saw Julie come. Oh, there she is. That's that cool chick in the back.
Trial I know. Yes. Yes, it's so. Yes, it's so. Had a beautiful experience last night, riveting experience with at Oz Arts. It was a performer, Faustine Linkeula, and did a performance piece. I haven't been that moved. I know there was a reset yesterday, and I've been resetting for some time. Every day, actually. I reset every day. But I know yesterday was beautiful with everything going on. Can't wait to hear more about it. But this was a riveting reset for myself, because I told them after the two performers, from the Congo, and it was an ancestral communication, and statues were placed around, beautiful wooden statues, and they were picked up ever so delicately and just respected, and there were chants that many of us could not obviously translate, but we translated it through the motion and the movements and the sounds. And I told them after the performance we had a chance to meet these incredible performers. There was also a trumpeter which sounded out for that extended communication with ancestors. And as they were performing, you all, I literally felt it in my bones and in my cells, literally. And not only did I hear their ancestors speaking to them, shouting, wailing, crying, laughing, all of it. I felt it within myself as well. So I made them definitely had that communication with them to let them know that I experienced that as well on my level, and it was incredible. So if any remnants of 2024 was there, which not much, that needed to be moved forward, they were shaken out. They were shaken out, and the sound and the escalating of the sound was just incredible. So yeah, if you have questions about that performer, I can definitely let you know after the service. So, but I can't wait to hear more about yesterday. I know. And I'm a bit of a loud individual. I have my moments of silence, but I love to scream, I love to shout, I love to dance, I love to move, and that is my way of resetting. So it was a good experience. All right, so announcements for today. This is Mindful Love. I mean, we're having so much of these good things coming up. This is a study into mindfulness, compassion, awareness. Join us in a 4-week course of cultivating mindful compassion and love, in person or Zoom. Our second gathering is Wednesday, January the 29th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., and this is led by Frank Castellano. So make sure to see him for questions or information. Please join us, too, for an interest Zoom meeting on January the 31st at 6:30 to explore the possibility of traveling to India at the end of this year. This trip will focus on the spiritual culture of India and include visits to several temples in addition to the Taj Mahal, the Mahatma Gandhi Museum, a rickshaw ride through Old Delhi, and many other amazing events. We hope to be joined by Jadio, thank you, from Jaipur, India. And this is just come with questions and curiosity. It's going to be an amazing talk and information there. Can't wait. Imulk ceremony, Sunday, February 2nd, following the service, a sacred day of cleansing and blessing. Join us as we start the year with a new vision as we cleanse and bless our spiritual paths, our spiritual community, and ourselves. If you would like to participate or have a role in this rite, please contact Frank. You can also sign up for the event itself on the bulletin board. Join Steph for the Happy Class on Thursday, February 6th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. This class will feature cardio drumming sequenced to a fun makeup playlist, followed with Reiki relaxation and moisturizing lavender hand treatments. So, what was that?
I told Jess, I said, your mom and her playlists.
Do you help pick those, Jackson?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I think you should have one choice in there. You should have one of your own. Yeah, for sure. Negotiate that. What do you say? Yeah. But anyway, this is going to be amazing, that lavender hand treatment. It's going to be incredible. Sign-ups are in the front room or at the front room bulletin board, and cost is $20 for adult, $15 for teen, or pay what you want donation. And a couple more here. On Saturday, February 8th, please join facilitator Lisa Murphy as we take a deep dive into the Hawaiian practice called, Ryan?
Ho'oponopono.
Say it again. It's just...
Ho'oponopono. Oh. It's fun to say.
It's fun to say. I'm glad you're saying it. All right, I will learn it. That's the first lesson. This process is a practical and deeply spiritual tool for pardoning, forgiveness, and reconciliation. The class will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the suggested cost is whatever donation comes from your heart. And finally, join our new Connect group, where we gather at an eatery and get to know each other better. We will meet at Middle East. There we go. At 412 Harding Pike, Suite 104 in Nashville on Wednesday, February 12th at 11:30 a.m. All are welcome. Everyone is responsible for their meal. You're not paying? I heard somebody was paying for this. No. Okay, they don't give a gardener that much, Marcia. But maybe I can help. Everyone is responsible for their meal and transportation. Sign up on the bulletin board, and you can also see Marcia, full of those comments back there, Marcia Powell, for more information. She'll be happy to talk with you about it. Everybody go to her at once and ask questions. Community Move and Groove. Sorry, I lied. There's one more. Community Move and Groove skate at Rivergate Skate Center. Has that skate sign always been there, that big skate? Mm-hmm. Okay, then. Whew. Was a little blurry last year, I'm just saying. All right, so that's I love that sign. That's really cool, that neon. Anyway, that is February 16th at 1 p.m. Everyone is responsible also for their own family admission, $8, and then plus $4 for skate rental. That would be how much? $12. Please see Stephanie for more information. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website, Weekly Happenings, Google Calendar, or you know what you can do? You can always email the church. Reverend Deb.
Yes. I have, after this, a quick announcement to make. Yesterday, we had our Revive and Reset. You'll hear more about it. It was absolutely beautiful. I want to thank Deborah Champion for having the idea for that. Valerie Dennison, who worked so hard. Frank, Stephanie, Stephanie's friend Sandra, who did a sound bath for us. It was really a beautiful day, and worked on us on so many levels. It was a beautiful opportunity for people to come together and not be alone. That was but one of the things that I heard yesterday was, what can we do on the local level? What can we do? Well, I have an answer for you. Our good friend, Reverend Greg Bullard, who is the minister at Covenant of the Cross, which is an affirming, inclusive, accepting Pentecostal Christian church. I know that just gave you like cognitive dissonance, right? But Reverend Greg,
are wonderful.
They are wonderful. Reverend Greg and his husband lead that church, and their children, their adopted children. But here's what they just built a new church building. It's in Madison, and they are hosting a series of open forums starting this Thursday, January 30th. I know that's difficult to see. We'll be posting it on our social media too. 324 Nawakwa Trail in Madison is where their building is. This Thursday, they're having Representative Afton Ben and Senator Jeff Yarborough on building state relationships, how we communicate to take care of things at the local level. A week later, we'll be having Councilperson Tanya Hancock on how to build local allies. And I think they're still forming the next one. It's evolving tough conversations into strong relationships. I know the Tennessee Equality Project is going to be a part of that as well. They're helping to sponsor that. So I wanted to put that on your radar for those of you who are looking for ways to be part of positive change on the local level. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's sing again. It's time for our monthly mantra. This is the spot in the service where we sing a song that really exemplifies who we are as a community and what we believe and how we take what we learn here out into the world. This is the last Sunday of the month, and boy, have we had an earworm to work with this month, haven't we? This has been such a fun song for us. We have movements during the verses, swaying to the left and right, and then we have We have marching in place on the choruses. So let's all stand up. And for those people who are here for the first time, let's teach them how to sing it. Here we go. If you want it, you can have it. All you gotta do is reach out and grab it. If you want it, you can have it. All you gotta do is reach right out and grab it. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child.
Step on up.
Step into your power. Step on up. Step into your power, child. Now listen. All you need, you already own. It was given to you on the day that you were born. Anything that your heart can dream, you can make it a reality. So step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child. And don't be afraid to fall. It's a getting back up that's gonna make you strong. God only made one like you. So come on, people, just do what you were born to do. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power. Let me hear you sing it. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child.
Step on up.
Step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child. That's it. Thank you. Please be seated. Bang a gong. This is the part I'm least nervous about.
You got this, Ben.
All right.
I told Gregory that I spent my childhood just swinging sticks outside, so now I swing sticks for a good reason.
Such a fine job.
Good morning, Unity of Music City. Let's begin this portion. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is we are all taking this adventure trip together. We are on an individual and collective adventure trip in this spiritual community. Each of us is a wilderness that is only partly explored and mapped. We can't know what we will find along the way, but we can expect to find something great and moving beautifully. I don't read that. We can expect to find something great and moving beauty, some spectacular experiences as well as learning and challenging ones. Any day we have a mixture of various feelings and experiences, but we can rest in the knowing that there will always be pleasant and fun stops along the way. This spiritual community will guarantee that. Unity of Music City can't provide a map of uncharted territory, but it can provide a toolkit for survival in the wilderness. It can help us orient ourselves when there are no familiar landmarks along the way and help to learn and grow from the experience. The more we spend time in the wilderness exploring the mystery of living, the more comfortable we become one with it. And the more we embrace this mystery, the greater appreciation we will have for its unique beauty and the gifts it brings to our lives. Now, please repeat these affirming statements after me. There is nowhere I can be that I am not meant to be. There's nowhere I can be that I am not meant to be. I trust the journey of my life, and I know that everything happens for my good. I am motivated by my experiences, and my challenges lead to my successes. I am motivated by my experiences, and my challenges lead to my successes. And so it is.
And so it is. Every day, in every way, my God is so good to me. Do you believe that? Is it true? Was it true on January 20th? Was it true on November, 7th? Was it, okay, all right then. I'm gonna go home. My work here is done. My work here is done. Oh my gosh. Every day, in every way, my God is so good to me until those moments hit, right? Those moments of suffering. And so this week, we're going to be focused on the one who is attached. We're continuing our study of Buddhism, and we're dealing with the attachments today. Oh my gosh, right? Have you ever had, does your life ever feel like that emotionally? Like, sometimes the physical representation of our life can feel like there's just so much stuff. How many of you don't have to raise your hand, you don't have to out yourself on this. How many of you just have a lot of stuff? Right? Like a lot of stuff, a lot. And some people are okay with that, and other people are no. Some people are really good at cleaning out and getting rid of, and other people are no, I might need that screw one day. I might need a screw just that size one day. I better hold on to it. My grandfather would have held on to it. My grandfather would have put a nail through the lid of a jar, put it underneath the stairs, screwed the jar. That's where he kept his screws. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you just unscrewed it to hold on. But we live in a little bit of a different time now, and sometimes what is happening in our outer world reflects what is happening in our inner world. And sometimes the way that we kind of start clearing out our emotional world is we go clean out that junk drawer. You ever just feel really good when you just clean stuff out, take a big old load to Goodwill, get rid of stuff? Oh my, that is a spiritual experience, because this is often what it looks like in our spirit. This is what attachment means, that our spirit has attics full of stuff that we continue to carry, we continue to hold on to. So just as a little refresher, these are the 4 noble truths. The Buddha stayed up all night, determined to wake up, and then he did, and he went off and he gave his first sermon, and his first sermon was around this. They're still considered the centerpiece of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. And last week we talked about dukkha. Life is suffering. Nothing is permanent. We talked about the fact that that suffering is kind of an English spin on it because it's really hard to translate the Pali word, but that what it really means is more akin to a wheel that's off center, the wobbly wheel, that life is always a little dislocated, disjointed, a little off. I mean, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, so we're already in that deep diver skin suit that doesn't let us move around very easily, right? And so we're trying to figure out how to get centered so that we stop suffering. Samudaya is we are attached to these impermanent things, and that is the cause of suffering. We're going to talk about attachment today. That's what we're going to focus on. What does it mean to be attached to something? We often have a hard time understanding that. I think if there's any one thing that I've ever talked about as a spiritual teacher that gets the most pushback, it's always attachment. Attachment is always the thing that makes people want to go, but wait a minute. But I really love that person. It's okay to be attached to that person. We got a wrong understanding of what attachment is. So we're going to talk about that today. We become attached to impermanent things. They're all going to go. What is born will die. What goes up must come down, right? Nirodha, the third noble truth, non-attachment to the transient world, and an end to the pain arising from attachment can be achieved. The gospel of Buddha, right? The good news of Buddha is that we can wake up to our attachments, we can see things as they are, and we can move through this world without suffering. I know, that sounds like a pie in the sky. That's a moonshot right there. But guess what? We went to the moon. So we can wake up. And then the fourth one, which we'll talk about in next week and the week after, the Noble Eightfold Path leads to the release of suffering. We'll talk about those and unfold those. But today we're going to stay focused on those two in the middle because they really go hand in hand. They're like flip sides of the same coin. One is we are attached to impermanent things. That's the cause. We know what the cause is. And we know what the cure is. Right? This is the cause and the cure. The Pali word that is used for attachment, this idea of attachment, is the word tanha. Tanha. And again, we translate that as attachment, but it translates more specifically as this: a state of incessant, never-ending thirst. I am in constant want. If you can attach attachment to the idea of want, it'll help you understand it a whole lot better. When I am in a state of, I need something to be different, right? I'm in this want, this place of thirst. Something needs to change. Maybe something does need to change, but can you be unattached to it? I don't need it to change. I accept this moment the way that it is. So here's the thing. Let's just start right from the beginning. A lot of times people think about attachment and they think, well, am I not supposed to have a desire for anything? Am I not supposed to have a preference? I think the Buddha had preferences every day of his life, right? The Buddha probably woke up on some mornings and went, I'm a little peckish. I think I'll have some breakfast, right? I think I prefer that breakfast to this breakfast. I think, what would you like? When they went to the Buddha buffet, right? I think he went through and went, I'll have eggs, but I don't want any of those beans over there, right? Because I'm not British. We haven't been colonized yet. So, right, I have my preferences. Preference is fine. You're going to have your preferences. But this never-ending thirst is this deeper desire that is attached to control and manipulation and a need for things to turn out the way that I see them turning out. Houston Smith, the author of The World's Religions, who's one of my great teachers in this regard, describes it this way: Tanha is a specific kind of desire, the desire for private fulfillment. Tanha is the force that pulls us back from the freedom of the all to seek fulfillment in our egos, which ooze like secret sores. I know, right? I love his writing. Tanha consists of all those inclinations which tend to continue or increase separateness. It's about getting what's mine, right? And not worrying about anybody else. I need to take care of my own. How many times have you heard this in regards to the world overall? You know what? We need to take care of Americans before we take care of the rest of the world. Why? Are Americans more special? No. Does any one person deserve to eat more than any other person? No. They don't. Now, you can take care of what's yours to take care of at home. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But when we begin to see, I have a desire for this to happen in the way that I see that it should happen, that's a desire for private fulfillment. Takes us away from the freedom of the all. For a long time in this spiritual community, we've talked about the highest spiritual principles being love, joy, and peace. And the one that I added to that, the one that I wanted, I think envelops them all, is freedom, liberation, total freedom. Right? Tanha is the force that pulls us back from the freedom that is contained in compassion for the all. And it causes us to seek fulfillment in our egos. He says it further this way. Instead of linking our faith and love and destiny to the whole, we persist in strapping these to the puny burrows of our separate self. That's a way of him saying that we're all asses, right? The puny burrows of our separate selves. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to link my faith, love, and destiny to me getting that, right? Instead of linking it to the whole. So really, when it comes to non-attachment, there's a real strong emphasis on oneness. The topic I get the most pushback on is attachment. The topic I think is slipperiest for people to grasp is oneness. It's slippery. Some days I get it, some days I don't. Some days I look at that and go, that's whatever, it's a nice idea. It's a nice idea, maybe in a perfect world, but the truth is, you're you and I'm me, and we live separate lives, right? We don't have anything to do with each other. We insist on seeing ourselves as individual islands, separate islands of beingness out in the world. But here's the truth of the matter. If we dive deep enough, there's no such thing as islands. Islands don't exist. Islands are just mountaintops of the one earth. Just because the water covers it up, just like ego covers up, makes it look separate, makes things appear separate. But the truth is, if we dive deeply enough, and that is both literal and figurative, if we dive deeply enough, there's no such thing as islands. There's no such thing as separateness. The Buddha addressed this suffering, the causes for our suffering, by pointing out 3 poisons, right? And he also gave us 3 antidotes to those poisons, so that's good. In Hinduism, they use the word kleshas, and they have 5 of them. In addition to the 3 I'm going to show you, Hinduism includes the kleshas. Kleshas are just mental states that keep us from awakening, and they cause mental suffering. We know what those are. Doesn't matter whether we call them kleshas or life in America. We have mental states, right, that cause suffering and are considered obstacles to our enlightenment. So the 2 additional ones that Hinduism has is egoism, self-centeredness, and the fear of death, right, which is also a mental state that can keep us from awakening to the wholeness of divine life. So here are the 3 poisons: delusion, attachment, and aversion. When he talks about delusion, this is most often talked about among Buddhist teachers as ignorance. But he doesn't mean like ignorance as in, like you're so stupid. That kind of, not that kind of ignorance. Not the kind of ignorance of you don't even know what you don't know. Not that kind of. He's specifically talking about not an ignorance of the world, but an ignorance of our true selves, our true nature, our Buddhist nature. We haven't aligned with our awakened self yet. We insist on living in the world of separate islands because we haven't tapped into the whole yet, right? We're not living in the awakened Buddha nature, Christ nature, that is our true birthright, that is the essence of who we are. Right now we're living in the ignorance, right? When we are in the car driving and we get road rage because that idiot who doesn't know how to drive, because everyone else doesn't know how to drive, right, pulls you over, and you're, we're caught in the ignorance right then. Our sacred self doesn't give a damn about the person who cut us off. Our sacred self blesses them and releases them, doesn't care. So we're constantly struggling with this sense of ignorance, not knowing who we are. The attachment part is an attachment to, as I mentioned before, the need for things to go my way. And we're constantly working with these attachments. So yesterday at the Revive and Reset, I'm going to tell you about one of my attachments. Deb has an attachment to being on time. Deb has a very strong attachment to following an agenda, being on time. If you invite me to your house for dinner at 6 o'clock, I will pull into your driveway at 5:57 because I will not be late, right? I am the one who's always early. I'm there. I'm on point. I am never late. So yesterday at 10 o'clock when we were to start, we were still registering people. What a beautiful problem to have, right? What a beautiful problem to have. And I'm sitting in my chair looking like the essence of bliss and calmness. I'm pretty sure that's what I looked like because that was the spiritual cosplay I was doing at that moment, right? I was the essence of bliss, and inside, the little inside Deb was going, let's go, people. Come on, come on, come on. Don't take as much time with the people you're registering now because we're already late. Do it quickly, do it quickly. Tell them to go in and sit down. Tell them to go in and take a seat. Come on, we're going to be behind. We're going to be behind. That's what inner Deb was doing. Because inner Deb was attached to what piece of paper they gave me that said we're going to start at 10. Right? Now let me just tell you, there's nothing wrong with following an agenda. There's nothing wrong with being respectful of people's time. You know what happened? Absolutely nothing. We absorbed the time. We said we were going to be here from 10 to 4. We walked out of here at 4 o'clock. We respected people's time. We did everything we needed to do. Absolutely nothing. But here's what happened for Deb inside. Deb is sitting there in her chair, being the picture of bliss and calmness, and feeling all of this angst inside. And suddenly, because I'm doing this work and I'm doing this study, and any given moment when you're suffering is a key that you got something to work on. And in that moment, I went, why are you suffering in this moment? Why are you irritated? Why are you frustrated? Why are you feeling all the things you're feeling? Be here now. Accept this moment exactly as it is. Just accept it for what it is. And I looked around at all the other people who were gathering, and you know what they were? They were the picture of bliss and calmness. They were having nice little chats with each other. None of them were looking at their watch, right? They were just experiencing this moment with each other, and it was fine. And here's what I had the opportunity to do. I had the opportunity to exercise the muscle that helps me let go of needing things to go my way. I could have gone home then. I had my spiritual moment right there, right? I had my spiritual moment. The kind of flip side of that is aversion, wanting to avoid something, being repelled by something, resisting something. We all know the old saying, what you resist persists, right? The more we push that is a kind of attachment. I'm attached to you not being in my life. I'm attached to this not being the way it goes. I have an aversion to what's going on. The good news is that we have antidotes for all three of these. We have the key, right? There is a treatment plan for each one of these. And the three antidotes look like this. In place of our ignorance and our delusion, we place wisdom. Now, this doesn't mean that we try to get smarter than everybody else. Sometimes it's the wisdom of knowing that you're not. Right? Sometimes it's the wisdom of knowing that you're going to learn from everybody you're in community with and being open to that. But mostly it's the wisdom of yourself, the awareness of your true nature. Not book learning, self-learning. So the core of Advaita Vedanta, Hinduism study of non-duality, the core of Buddhism, the core of a lot of these Eastern wisdom traditions is something called self-inquiry. That the key to everything is to go in and start inquiring of yourself, your higher self, right? We were talking just this morning, I was talking with Ben, there he is over there, I knew he was somewhere. I was talking with Ben about realizing who it is who's suffering. When I'm suffering, who is it? If I just stop and ask myself that question, who is suffering right now? Is it my divine, pure presence? The life energy that animates my being? That which was never born and will never die? That which has no dimension, no height, no width? That which has no push, no pull, which lives outside of the phenomenal world? Is that suffering? Or is it my personality? The one who was born, was given a name, has an identity, the one that feels the push and pull, the one that gets hungry and gets tired and gets cold and wakes up and goes to sleep and is born and dies. Is that the one suffering? Oh, that's the one suffering. Okay. Where does this one go? Nowhere. Always there. Always ready for us to identify with it. To become one with it. And we can observe the person that we are going through the struggle. We can be an observer of that. We know the person is feeling grief or pain or sorrow. We know the person is feeling anger or frustration, despair. Yesterday we talked a lot about despair, feeling a sense of despair in the world. That person is I hesitate to say real. It's not real in the spiritual sense, but it's real in our physical, material existence. We feel that pain. But what's real with a capital R is the Buddha nature that doesn't feel any of that just observes, watches the world from that's the wisdom we're talking about. The non-attachment we're talking about is a kind of, if you can equate this with the word generosity. Yesterday, when I was attached to things starting on time, part of the work, internal work that I did to get unattached to it was a kind of generosity of spirit. You know what? Everybody's doing what they need to do. I don't need to say, Frank, stop talking to everybody that you register as if you want to know their whole life story, because Frank is so interested in people, right? Instead, I was saying, Frank, connect. Right? There's a generosity of spirit saying, thank you that Frank is a connector. That Frank is someone who connects with people. And so there's a kind of, I'm not attached anymore. I can be generous in this moment. I can let go and be generous in this moment. And then loving kindness, the antidote to this aversion. Loving kindness is central to Buddhism. It's a kind of true compassion. I face the entire world with loving kindness. Most of the pain from yesterday, I saw from a group of people. We had, I think, close to 20 people here. It was a beautiful day, sitting in circle. And most of the pain that I felt that people were expressing and trying to share with each other came from a deep, deep sense of loving kindness, compassion for the earth, compassion for the world, compassion for our nation, compassion for vulnerable populations, compassion for those who are disenfranchised, compassion for those who are scared, right? That deep, loving kindness is the way that we address that. So, the wisdom, how do we tap into this wisdom? Frank mentioned it in class on Wednesday night. We had the first class of the Mindful Love series. I hope you'll think about joining us this Wednesday. We'll be here or we'll be on Zoom. But he mentioned it Wednesday night, the 3 jewels of Buddhism, right? So the 3 jewels of Buddhism are these. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. And what that means is this. I take refuge in the Buddha can mean the person of the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, his story, his teachings, any other Buddha that's been around. But really, Buddha just means the awakened one. I take refuge in the awakened one, which is also within me, because oneness. Right? That space, that self, that divine presence within, it's already here. The Buddha I tap into right here. That's why we meditate, we get silent, we sit still, we clear ourselves, right? We take care, wake up, let me get rid of everything so that I can tap in once again to that divine presence. I take refuge in the Dharma, the teachings, what I can learn, what can open my eyes, anything outside that can help me tap into the truth. Coming to unity, going to a class, reading a book. I take refuge, the lessons I learn along the way. I saw a billboard, it made me think of something. Dharma in action, right? I take refuge in the teachings. I take refuge in the Sangha. That means beloved community. I saw that so clearly yesterday. For those of you who may be here for the very first time today, you've happened upon and stumbled into a group of very weird people. All right. Now, I wasn't going to say that, but I just decided to right there. You've happened onto a group of people committed to beloved community, committed to building beloved community, committed to letting each one of us know you're not alone. You're not alone, right? We share in this together. Some people come and go in our midst, that's fine. Some people are stalwarts, thank God for them. Right? So we have a beloved community, and we lean on each other. We help remind each other. You are divine. Namaste, the Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Buddha in me beholds the Buddha in you. Right? I take refuge in the beloved community. I remain unattached. As Adyashanti tells us, if you want to have a happy day, stop arguing with the way things are. I know, right? If you want to have a happy day, stop arguing with the way things are. They are what they are. It is what it is, right? Stop arguing with it. You don't have to accept it. I mean, you don't have to say, oh, okay, this must be good. You don't have to give it that. It is what it is. And we got to figure out how to be happy anyway. How to be enjoy, peace, love, freedom anyway. Right? Absolutely. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to really address non-attachment, and I couldn't find a quote that exactly said what I wanted to say, so I made my own. All right? So this is, but it, these are from ideas that I've gotten from other teachers, and this is what I came up with. Non-attachment is not indifference or lack of preference or uncaring. Non-attachment is being so clear about who you are that outside forces lose the power to dictate your emotional state. And your inner being is freed from all that formerly kept it bound and thus incapable of showing up as love and compassion. That's what that non-attachment is about. I don't have to approve of who you are, but I can just, it is what it is, right? Even in our personal relationships, just being so clear of who we are. In my marriage with Nikki, right, there are times when, certainly, I'm a human being. Every one of us has moments where we go, I really want that spouse of mine to be different. I know nobody else has ever thought that, have you? Right? I really want that spouse of mine to be different. It drives me crazy when she does this, when he does this. Right? And what would happen if you just absolutely, I am not approving of that behavior. I am just letting it be. I am just fully accepting who you are. It's who it is. I'm so clear about who I am that even that person I'm in primary relationship with is still an outside force, and they don't have the power to dictate my emotional state. Woo, that's big work. That is big work. But let me tell you, even in the most minor of things, the more that I stopped inside myself going, I wish Nikki would do this. And she's never done that about me because they're perfect. I wish Nikki would do this. I wish she would do, right? And the more I just go, let it go. Not, I'm going to unattach from this because I've heard that unattaching is the way you make other people change. So that's why I'm going to be unattached, which is attachment, right? It's cosplaying non-attachment. But really, truly letting go of any, you know what, it's fine. I'll tell you what happens. What happens is you only thought you loved that person before. The love deepens. It just deepens and deepens and deepens the more you just go, I fully accept you, who you are, as you are, 100%. 100%. That's work. Takes a little work, right? Ram Dass tells us that a feeling of aversion or attachment towards something is your clue that there's work to be done. I think of that daily. Yesterday, of course, it was part of the key that started me on the internal work I needed to do. But in any given moment, the other night when I was sitting up in bed and seeing the headline where the state of Idaho is asking the Supreme Court to consider overturning marriage equality, right? And I posted something on social media because I felt all the suffering rose up in me. The anticipation of fear. What happens to my marriage? Right? What do I do? What's our plan? What am I going to do? Nothing's happened yet. Now, planning is fine. I'm not saying there's not a good time to plan. But in that moment, all the fear just came up. And I knew in that moment, you can move through this without suffering. You can move through this observing the one who is suffering, but remembering who you are. Remembering who you are. And here's the beauty of beloved community. Even at home, Nikki's my beloved community, right? And I showed her, I often don't show her these things because she wants to fight somebody, right? Do you see that? We talked about this yesterday. Somebody said something about, I've done all the deconstruction I can do, now I just want to fight James Dobson in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru, right? We talked about that feeling. Nikki's going to be right there with him, going, come on, let's go, right? And I sometimes don't, but I showed it to her on my phone, and I said, we need to be prepared. And in that moment, beloved community showed up in the form of my wife when she leaned out to me and took my hand and said, we're going to be okay. My friends, we're going to be okay. We have each other. We're going to be okay. Right? Eckhart Tolle says, to offer no resistance to life is to be in a state of grace, ease, and lightness. To just accept this moment for what it is. When we accept this moment for what it is, we can move into a place of complete loving kindness and compassion. There's a prayer in Buddhism called the Metta prayer. Metta is M-E-T-T-A, not M-E-T-A Zuckerberg. M-E-T-T-A. And that Metta prayer comes from the Pali word meaning loving kindness deeper than that, friendship, friendliness, amity, goodwill, right? Connection, nonviolence, an active interest in others, a proactive compassion. It goes like this. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. What a beautiful way to start every day, right? Before we go into practice meditation, I want to share with you, I realized last week that I did not share with you my favorite version of the Four Noble Truths, which is the Four Noble Truths for a 4-year-old. So if this helps at all, I want to give you this. Noble truth number 1, sometimes people feel sad. Sometimes the thing that makes people sad is not getting something they want or getting something they don't want. There is a way to not be so sad about not getting what you want or getting something you don't want. The way is to not think so much, period. The way is to not think so much about what you want at all, but instead think about how you can be kind and helpful to your family, your teachers, your friends, other people, animals, bugs, and everything that lives. Right? To get out of ourselves, to get out of our personality. I'm going to ask the sanctuary band to come on up here and be ready to bring us out of meditation. But we're going to get ready for a brief practice along these lines. And in order to get ready for this brief practice, I want to ask you to do something with me. We're going to practice something. I want you to fold your hands, clench your hands together like this. Intertwine your fingers, like this. Now, I want you to try to pull your palms apart, but I want your fingers to try to not let them pull apart. So you try to pull your palms apart, but the harder your fingers get like that, right? Right? Okay, just relax. And now I want you to just open your palms and put them in prayer hands like this. Still connected. Still present, one to the other, but free. Free to be directly touching, free to step away, free to be what we need to be in that moment. So I'm going to ask you to start with your hands like this. I'll let you know when to start unclenching them. I'll ask you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Though your hands are clenched together, try to relax the rest of your body, though if it's clenched along with it, that might even be helpful. Consider what you have an attachment to. It may be a person or a situation. An election. A job. What is it that you have a desire to have your way about? You're invested in how it turns out. Maybe it's an interpersonal situation with someone you care deeply about. Maybe it's a painful situation or a bully you need to release. slowly, as you hear me talk, begin imagining letting go. Letting go of the need to have your own way. Letting go of an outcome. And slowly, when you're ready, just begin to let your fingers unclench naturally. Slowly letting them get to the point of prayer. Telling that something you're attached to, I love you, but I am no longer willing to suffer because of it. I release you so that I can be free to encounter you with love and compassion. I refuse to continue allowing you to bind my compassion in knots. I do not wish you ill, but I will not enable any behavior that hurts myself or others. I release you so that I am free to act with love and compassion regardless of what you do. Hopefully by now your hands are unclenched. Imagine that what you were once attached to now is simply present in your life without requiring you to give up any freedom. The love and compassion that is the highest expression of our true nature is free to move through all situations without being infringed. And the pathway now to seeing your true nature is clear. You are holy. Only goodness comes from you.
I am holy. thank you so much for sharing this experience with us. Coming together as a sacred community is always a special thing, whether we're having fun and out in the yard playing games, or whether we're coming in here and learning something to guide us on our spiritual path. It's always a special experience to be together and love one another. And then we have that energy and those tools to take this out into the world and live our lives the way that we show up as light and love and peace and kindness and joy. That's the way that we want to be. And hopefully we learn a few tools to do that here. So we thank you so much for doing that. Let's sing a song about gratitude. Let's do I Am Grateful. I am grateful for another day of living. Grateful for a new chance to forgive. Grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. I am grateful for another day of living. Grateful for a new chance to forgive. Grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Yes, I'm grateful for the love I have to give. We are grateful. All right. Let me remind you of all the events that we've got coming up throughout the week. Looking forward to seeing you at the Ho'oponopono class on February the 8th. We've got our mindfulness class. We've got mindful meditation and movement coming up. So if you haven't signed up for the What's Happening newsletter that comes out every Tuesday in your email, please sign up in the front room. And let's all stand up together and say the prayer for protection as we prepare to leave. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Have a great week.